Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard. If you'll remember, I did a video a while back on the Ruger Wrangler, and I mentioned about the Heritage Rough Rider. I said I didn't like those because they had that kind of funky safety on the side. Well, I went and broke down and bought one. Not just a regular old Heritage though. I got the 16-inch barrel one here. And this is the Honor Betsy Ross edition. It's got the Betsy Ross flag on the grip there, and a 16-inch barrel on this thing. So it's, I mean, it's almost a rifle, except it doesn't have a buttstock on it. Now, back in the day, they actually did make some revolving carbines that had a buttstock on it, so you could shoulder it. But those proved to be a little bit dangerous sometimes. But we're going to take a look at this thing up close. Then we're going to get it on the range and give it a few shots, see how it does. Alright, it's going to come in this box. Big old long Heritage Rough Rider small bore revolver box. This is a revolver with a 16-inch barrel on it. There's a spot right here that's empty, which kind of bugs me because it would have had the 22 Magnum cylinder in it. But this one does not come with the Magnum cylinder. You can purchase it on Heritage website. They run about 30 bucks for an extra cylinder. And you'll be able to fire the 22 Magnums in it. 16-inch barrel on this thing. It's got an aluminum alloy frame on it, steel barrel on it. I believe this is an aluminum housing for your ejector rod on there. It does have a plastic ejector on there. Now, one of the things I do like about this over the Ruger Wrangler is that this one, when you go to eject your rounds out of there, it does click into position. So you don't have to worry about lining up the cylinder. Now, I did notice you can turn it a little bit past and you'll hit the end of the cylinder, but if you pull it back just a little bit after that click, it lines up every time. That's one of the things I do like about it. The safety, again, is the one little funky thing I don't like about it, but I mean, it is what it is. Even though it has that safety on it, it does recommend on the side of the barrel, which is really hard to see, it says keep empty chamber under hammer. So even though it has that safety there, you don't want to have a loaded, a live chamber, a live round in that cylinder underneath the hammer. But it's not a bad little gun. Heritage has been around since about 1992, I think it is. They are made in the United States. It's got the alloy frame on it, steel barrel, aluminum, plastic. The grips, I'm not sure what these grips are made out of. They're probably some kind of polymer or something, but Heritage also has a bunch of different grips on their website you can get too. But we're going to take this thing out on the range. I got a couple boxes here. I got some Winchester 22 40 grain 1255 feet per second. I got a couple CCI quiets left in here, and I got some Aguila super extra shorts. These are 29 grain bullets, and we're going to fire a few of these things through there too. But let's take the target, the pistol, almost a rifle. It's got a 16-inch barrel on it, but we're going to get it out there on the range and give it a few shots. Alright, we're out here on the range. It is a beautiful sunny Sunday morning, and we've had rain all night, but right now it's nice and sunny out here and warm for being December 1st. It's nice outside. So we're going to get this thing loaded up. Now, I only had 4 rounds of the CCI quiets left, so we're going to put those in first and give it a few shots at the 15-yard target up there and see how it does. Now, to load this, pull it back to the half-cock position, open up your loading gate on the side there, and you'll be able to line up your cylinder with the loading gate there. Drop your rounds right in there. Advance it to the next position and keep on going till you've got a full cylinder. Now, it recommends to carry this with you know, the hammer over an empty cylinder. So if you got a 6-shot revolver, you should only load 5 in it. That was the cowboy load. That's why they did that. But this gun is a little different than the old ones. It does have a safety system in it. Even with the safety system in this revolver, they still recommend on the side of the barrel there to carry it over a hammer over an empty cylinder. That's pretty quiet. It is a CCI quiet, and it lives up to its name. Alright, there's my 4 rounds. We're going to go up there and look at this target real quick. Ejecting the shells out of there, like I said, pull the hammer back to the half-cock position. You've got the loading gate open, and just tip it up. Pull that ejector rod down. And there's my 4 spent cases. Okay, there's my 4 shots right there. Looks like 1, 2, 3, all in a line right there. That is really good shooting, except I wasn't aiming at this target. I was aiming at this one. That's not so good. All right, we're going to go ahead and load 6 rounds this time. These are going to be Winchester 22 long rifle, 40 grain, 1255 feet per second. These are small game target and plinking. We'll give it a try before we kind of try to do any kind of adjustments on anything. See if the point of impact changes with these. It probably will. That's considerably louder than the quiets. There's my 6 shots. We'll go up there and look at that, see if the point of impact changes any. Now, I don't have this on a rest, and that long barrel out there, you've really got a lot of nose weight on there, so it gets a little wobbly. Maybe not quite as much as a short barrel, because that weight kind of dampens some of your natural bodily whatever movements. Okay, my second group right there. There's at least 3 right there. That might be 4. Who knows? But I've got at least 3 right there, so it did change the point of impact quite a bit. Unfortunately, just to the right, it did not change my elevation any. Now, the only way you can adjust the sights on this thing is to file down the front sight or bend the front sight, you know, left or right, depending on which way your point of impact is. I would recommend, before you do any of that, do a lot of test firing with it to see if it's consistent, you know, one direction or the other, and that will definitely have an impact on how you want to adjust the sights on it. They do make this in an adjustable sight model with the 16-inch barrel on it. I'm not sure if they make a shorter barrel with adjustable sights on it, but I do know the 16-inch is available that way. Let's put some shorts in and try it. All right, I've got 6 rounds of Aguila Super Extra Shorts. These are a 29 grain bullet. They're little tiny things. Let's give it a try and see how they do. Definitely a lot quieter than the Winchester long rifles. Not quite as quiet as the quiets. Okay, there was 6 rounds of 22 shorts. Let's go up there and take a look at that. Okay, the 22 shorts. 1, 2, 3. That looks new right there. So it looks like on my left to right, my windage is okay. My elevation still is off, but I'm not shooting from a rest either. So I'm just holding this, you know, freehand, and of course it's not real accurate that way. But the 22 shorts are a nice little round to shoot, nice and quiet. I really like shooting shorts. You don't see them that often in the stores. They're out there. Sometimes they come in waves, but I mean, they are what they are. Let's put the matrix up there and hold it down a little bit and see if we can get a little bit better on that. Now, by matrix, this is what I meant, not the movie. All right, 6 shots with it resting in the matrix, and we'll go up there and give that a look and see if I did any better, if it's me or if it's the gun. All right, it's a little hard to tell where I hit because I've already had bullet holes. This was already there, this was already there. I think 1 or 2 of these were already there. Looks like there's 2 shots there, maybe. It may just be the way the paper tore. But it looks like it's somewhere in there. It could be down in here too. Those still look like they change every time I come up here. But maybe I'm gonna aim right up here in the middle and see if I can do any better. That way I got a better idea where it's going. See if I can give you a little idea of what the sight picture's like in this thing too. It's not the greatest set of sights in the world. I'm sure if you have the adjustable sights on it, it's gonna be a whole lot better, and you can change it. Once you've filed the sight down on this thing or bent it from one side to the other, you're pretty much stuck with what you got. The bending it can be achieved over and over again, at least to the point that it breaks. But as far as your where your point of impact is in elevation, you pretty much got 1 shot at it, and that's it. Okay, 6 more rounds of Winchester. I'm going to aim a little high on the target there. All right, let's check it out. Okay, I was aiming right up in here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who knows, but they're all right in here. So it looks like I'm about 5 inches low at 15 yards. So it's looking to me like I probably need to file that front sight down a little bit so I can pick the barrel up some. Like I say, you only got one chance to do that. If you're wrong, then you're going to be shooting consistently high if you go too much. Now, unloading of the Heritage Rough Rider is like I said, you pull the hammer back to the half-cocked, open up the loading gate, and you've got your plunger right here. You just push that out, and there comes your shell. Now you can rotate it till it clicks, back it up just a hair so it's up against that notch, I guess, and then push your shells out. Now, if you've missed one, you can't go back, you have to roll it all the way around. Now that's the only advantage that the Ruger Wrangler has over this one, but I like that positive click when you roll it around. The Wrangler can go either way, and you can miss it, and then your ejector rod is going to hit between cylinders, and then you got to kind of feel its way in there. To take this one apart, to clean it, pull your hammer back half-cocked, pull your loading gate open. You've got this pin right here. You have to push that pin down and pull your center pin out, your base pin. You'll pull that out, go ahead and pull it out all the way, set it down, and then roll your cylinder right out of the side with the loading gate. That loading gate will help this these little notches, this ratchet wheel here, clear. And there it is. You can clean up each one of the cylinders individually. This is a pretty hefty, beefy cylinder on there. The frame, like I said, is an aluminum alloy, so the rest of this is pretty light. When you compare it to the cylinder feels like it almost weighs as much as the gun itself, and it probably does weigh as much as the ones with the shorter barrels. But you've got easy access to get in there and clean everything up. You can run your bore snake through there if you want to run patches through it. Traditionally, you run patches through, you go from the breech to the muzzle. It's a little hard to run a hard rod through there with a patch on to get it out, so you're really only left with the option of pushing it the other way. But it's still easy gun to clean up. You can, like I said, get the 22 Magnum cylinder for this one if you want to. It just does not come with it. Put it back together, just roll your cylinder right back in there. Take your base pin, push it back in. You'll have to push that plunger down a little bit, that latch or lock. Make sure you're lined up. Push it in until that pin pops up. Once that pops up, it's locked into that little notch that's in your base pin there, and everything should be good to go again. Should clean up pretty easy. You won't want to use any real abrasive stuff on it because it'll hurt the finish on it. But it's a good little gun. Like I said, the only thing I never really liked about the Heritages was that funky little safety on there. It's just not traditional to a regular 1873 single action Army, but it's a modern take on the old gun. Like I said, this one is the Honor Betsy Ross edition. It's got the Betsy Ross flag on the grips. So there's a whole bunch of different grips available for these. And not only does Heritage make 22s, but they also make large bore revolvers, so you can get them in 38, 357. I think you can get 45 long Colt, several different ones. You can get on their website, check out their online catalog, and see the different ones they've got. They got a whole bunch of special edition ones, and really that's the only difference in them is the grips that are on there. They are available in the 6-shot and a 9-shot revolver too. So I mean, there's a lot of options out there. Now the best thing about these is the price. They're made in America. This one I caught on sale around 140 bucks, 149, 150, somewhere around there. You can get just the standard length, either I think it's the 6.5 or 9-inch barrel for around 100 bucks. So I mean, that's pretty cheap. And if you're looking to get somebody started in, revolvers or any shooting sports really, pick one of those up, check them out. They're inexpensive as can be. It's going to cost you a little bit more if you get the combo with both cylinders in it, but not a whole lot more. So really, it's it's a good choice if you want to get into single action armies and not spend a lot of money on it. It's just a good little pistol. Not my favorite. I kind of like the Chiappa 1873 single action army a little better. I think it feels more like the traditional single action armies, and it does not have that funky little safety on it. Now, one thing's about the Chiappa is that the cylinder gap is a monster in the Chiappa. This one, that cylinder gap it looks to me like it's virtually non-existent. So it's a pretty close tolerance on there, which is nice because you get less blowback through that hole, you get less noise through that hole there. And really, with the 16-inch barrel on this thing, it's pretty quiet with the shorts and the quiets in there. It's not too terrible. Now, I didn't try it without any hearing protection on, just because hearing damage is cumulative, and over time you lose it, you don't get it back. So it's a good idea to wear it no matter how quiet the gun is. Get used to wearing it, and definitely wear eye protection and keep your hands away from the front of the cylinder when you're firing, because little bits of metal and burnt gunpowder and stuff can come out of there, and it seems like inevitably I'm going to get some kind of powder residue on my hands there when I'm shooting, just because of where I've got my hands at when I've got my grip there. But you would definitely want to try to keep your hands away from that as much as possible. Anyways, there it is, the Heritage Rough Rider, and this, like I said, this is the crazy 16-inch barrel one. They either did make or are going to make a buttstock for these, which really, to me, that's a cowboy gun. That's the ones I really like. Like I said, they were more dangerous because, especially with the black powder ones, a lot of times when people would fire them, they'd put their hand up in the front right there in front of the cylinder, and you could have a chain fire and end up shooting yourself in the back of the hand if some of these other cylinders went off. So you got to really concentrate on your hand placement when you're doing one of those, but they're pretty cool. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me out here at the Shooting Saloon and taking a look at the Heritage Rough Rider. This is the Honor Betsy Ross edition because it's got the little Betsy Ross flag on it. And, you know, if you want to look at getting one of these for a gift for Christmas time, go for it. Check your local laws, because there are restrictions on giving these away as gifts, who you can give them to and who you can't. But it's a pretty good option, like I said, if you want to get somebody into the shooting sports, or if you want to get somebody into single action armies and you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, this is a great choice for it. Good shooting gun. If you want to get the one with the adjustable sights on it, it's going to cost you just a little bit more, but you've got more options when you got that. Not quite as traditional, but still good option for getting somebody into the shooting sports. If you could, hit this button over here to subscribe. Hit this button up here to check out some of my other videos. I think I'm going to plank away a little bit more with some .22 shorts. And thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review.